It has been quite a while since I've taken a foray into the world of expensive LEGO Ninjago minifigures, well over a year in fact, and with 2026 only 3 months away, I thought that today would be a good time to take another dive into the list, with all of the updated prices as of September 2025, as well as a handful of new figures thrown in there that have released in the last 2 years. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first figure I wanted to check now was DX Lloyd, who has been featured on this channel since the very second video, but until 2024 I did not actually own him. According to Brick Economy, Lloyd has had a huge price spike this year for whatever reason. There is currently no listing of this singular figure on Bricklink for less than $281 US, though his average price based upon recent sales is $266 US. As you may know, Lloyd only appears in the rare Target exclusive gift box from 2014. This small set has also seen an extreme growth in average price over the last year or so, and currently averages about $391 US new on Bricklink. And I only say new because it has not been sold used in the last 6 months at all. This also makes me feel a bit lucky because I paid 180 Australian dollars for this back in April 2024, which is about 118 US. None of the other figures in this fetch nearly as much as Lloyd. Even Superboy only averages about half of Lloyd's used price. What's also pretty surprising is that the Target gift box from the following year is only around $76 these days, with Kai himself being about $50. So I don't know what it is that makes the 2014 Target gift box and Lloyd DX in particular so desirable and expensive, but with this price hike in mind, this has to be now one of the most, if not the singular most expensive Ninjago minifigures. NRG Jay, another one of the all-time Ninjago champions of having an insane price, is currently hovering around $164 in new condition, and about $101 used. To this day, I'm still not sure as to why Jay is a lot pricier than the other three Ninja, even though he seemingly had the same distribution as them. Maybe he simply just looks the coolest. A recent addition to the list that I wanted to talk about is Casual Harumi from the Ninjago City Workshops, released in March of this year. Prior to this set, Casual Harumi was a long-requested minifigure, so the Ninjago community was delighted when it finally came to fruition. With this set being so recent, the minifigure is only priced at around $25, and the workshops will likely stay on shelves for around 4 years like the Ninjago City Gardens did. But I think when it retires, there is a good chance that this figure will jump up in price, just like Casual Kai from the original Ninjago City, who can now be found for an average price of $76 used, even though he has only 2 exclusive pieces. And Casual Kai is kind of an outlier because when it comes to Ninjago City figures, no others really reach such extravagant prices, even though the majority of them are exclusive. Funnily enough, some of the most expensive Ninjago minifigures come from regular, widely available sets. For example, Kilo, who was only in the Kilo vs Samurai X set from 2018, which was available from January 1st to December 31st that year, just shy of 1 full year. He currently costs an average used price of $76 US, and at the time of writing, he is Ninjago's most recent big fig. Yes, the most recent big fig was 7 years ago. We came really close to getting another in 2023 with Lord Raz, but he was sadly downsized to just a regular minifigure. Before that, the only other big fig we'd had in this theme was Dogshank, who can currently be found for a significantly lower 18 USD. I think big figures as a whole have kind of fizzled out lately. We really only seem to get Hulk and Thanos now, with the odd exception like Maui. The last non-licensed big fig I believe we had was Sandy from Monkey Kid in 2021, and honestly, I feel like big figs are a dying breed. They were very prevalent in the 2010s, but we hardly get any now, even with characters like Bane and Venom who totally deserve it. And I would be shocked if we see another Ninjago big fig, although we are rumoured to be getting figures with big fig heads in the January wave next year. But let's run through a few others. Fangdom, the Fangpire Tribe General from 2012, is hovering at around $39 used, which seems to be around the same price as he's been over the last few years. Akita is currently averaging $71 used, the Overlord is sitting at about $59 used, which seems consistent with what I remember him being 2 years ago, although according to Brick Economy, he had a fair dip in price in 2024 before going up again this year, which is kind of weird to see for a now 11-year-old minifigure. Samakai is down to $38, which feels a bit lower than I remember. You'd think he'd continue to grow, especially since he turns 15 years old next year. But he has been sold 165 times on Bricklink in the last 6 months, so there is very clearly no shortage of this minifigure still out there. DX Jay, whilst nowhere near the price of DX Lloyd, continues to be overinflated at a cost of $54 used, which doesn't seem like a lot compared to other figures on the list, but let me remind you, he has only 2 exclusive pieces. Over the last year, I've been on the hunt for either the Lightning Dragon Battle or Skeleton Bowling, one of the two sets he is in, since I prefer to collect the figures in the sets rather than buying them individually. And every time I do buy a figure individually, I usually end up getting extras anyway, which is why I have multiple of some Serpentine. But my issue has been that the Lightning Dragon Battle is not only elusive, but also shockingly priced, averaging 383 used, with only 620 pieces included. And whilst it does have 4 minifigures, it's not like any of them other than Jay are exclusive. They all appear in much smaller sets. And as for Skeleton Bowling, I do see plenty of listings on eBay, but they're all just coincidentally missing Jay, the most valuable part. That's strange. I wonder what the reason for that could possibly be. I also have the same issue with the Mountain Shrine, which has DX Kai. DX Kai is only $12, so not too bad at all in the grand scheme of the theme, but the set is almost always missing either the minifigure, the spinner, or the cards, all three of which are the reason I'm trying to get that set in particular. My main man Pythor is hovering at only $19.99, the original version that is, who is ironically the only Season 1 minifigure alongside Samurai X that I'm missing, excluding the NRG Ninja as well, and the Kendo Ninja. You know what, let me rephrase that. Pythor is the only Serpentine figure from Season 1 I'm missing, so none of the main accessible figures from the initial seasons of the show are super pricey, except for the awesome looking DX and NRG Ninja. But we cannot possibly discuss rare and expensive Ninjago figures without adding in the Time Twins from 2017. Both appeared in the Dawn of Iron Doom, and Achronix, the younger brother, goes for about $45, whilst his sibling Crux is $43. It makes sense that they're pretty close in price, seeing as they're identical at a glance, and differentiated only slightly by the printing and hair pieces. Which reminds me that Crux also had a younger version found in the 2017 Bricktober pack that contains 4 exclusive minifigures. Crux is actually the least valuable of this quartet at only $20 behind Golden Kai at $36, the White Ninja Sentry from Season 6 at $50, and lastly Neuro, who blows the others away at an average of $81 used. A fact that is made even more hilarious when you consider that he has only 3 exclusive pieces. Now, I've been mainly using Bricklink for this list, as I do for every video, since their statistics are pulled from actual sales that have been made. Though I have also been using the website Brick Economy a little bit, which is claiming that Neuro is worth only $18. However, when you look at any Bricklink or eBay listing, there is nothing less than like $65 US. Also, Brick Economy claims that DX Lloyd is worth over $500 US, when on other places like Bricklink and eBay, my main go-tos, he is around half that price. So I'm now actually doubting the validity of Brick Economy, and I'm not just going to blindly trust them. So by all intents and purposes, yes, Neuro is worth $80, based on what people have actually paid for him. There is also the Bricktober pack from the following year, which contains Stone Harumi at $48, Future Jay at $28, Mohawk at only $8, and Kabuki Nia at $41. So not quite as high as the 2017 figures, but still more valuable than the majority of figures in this theme. Let's bear in mind though that all of this supposed value is created by us fans anyway. If no one liked Ninjago, no one would desire these, and they cost only a few dollars each. But with LEGO being as popular and beloved worldwide as it is in this day and age, that's an irrelevant point. Another 2 figures I can see maybe going up in the future are Dorama and Twitchy Tim, who appeared in the Ninjago City workshops, and are currently at $23 and $13 respectively. I think they have the potential to be desired in the future, unless they appear in some kind of blister pack or magazine or something like Miss Demeanor did after her debut in the Ninjago City markets. But there is one little character from a couple of years ago that blows the rest out of the water, and it's not even a minifigure, it's a singular piece. I'm of course talking about the Blue Charge, who was given away at a Ninjago talent signing at San Diego Comic-Con in 2023. Last time I talked about this piece, it was so rare that there was not even a Bricklink page for it. There is now, and there is only one listing of the piece. For the low price of $880 US, you can get yourself a slightly play-worn plastic dragon the size of your thumb. Paying a price like that for a set with thousands of pieces and hours of build value is one thing, but spending this much money on a singular piece of plastic borders on mentally ill. No matter how much money you have, that price for this one piece should shock you. But seeing the prices of exclusive items in other hobbies like Pokemon cards makes it look like us Ninjago fans have it easy. And before we wrap up the list, I have to bring up the Ultra Hyper Giga Wooden Woo, because every time I mention the words rare or expensive in the same sentence as Ninjago, someone comments and asks where Wooden Woo is. Wooden Woo was a prop made for the LEGO Ninjago movie in 2017, and only 4 of it exist. It has been valued at $100,000 US. For the record, I don't think this counts. Yes, it may be the size of a minifigure, but come on, it's a movie prop. That's why only 4 of it exist. Being made of wood, it of course doesn't even move. So I think that DX Lloyd is the definitive most valuable Ninjago minifigure, and Comic-Con Ryu is the definitive most valuable Ninjago piece. Case closed. And thank you for watching all the way until the end. I think it will be a decent while until we take a look at some valuable Ninjago figures again, and with rumoured 15th anniversary Ninjago sets releasing next year, I'm intrigued to see if any of the minifigures included will be particularly expensive down the line. So make sure to check your Lego tubs and grandmother's attic to see if you have any of these minifigures, and remember that no Ninjago collection is truly complete without an $800 piece of plastic. That's been all for today, folks. Have a great day and see you in the next video.